Guys, if you're watching this, make sure you subscribe. If you want to watch the whole thing, you can watch it on YouTube, Apple Podcasts, or Spotify. Welcome back to another episode of Saving Grace. Today, we're starting off our Love Island journey again with Miss Claudia.
Hello.
I said I'm so excited to have you on. You've been my favourite in the villa.
Oh, I love that.
It's got to be done. So
it's got to be done.
You're my number one, all right?
Oh, I love that.
And we're ready for
privileged.
it. Because we haven't had any tea from this season yet at all. We've just been watching it. You know, just been waiting for you all to come out so you can all spin it.
And here I am. Here I am, spilling the beans.
In the hot seat. Right, so we're going to start at the very beginning.
Okay, let's go.
How'd you get in? Did you sign up?
My whole journey.
Yeah.
No, I actually got approached. I got a message on Instagram around September time.
Oh, early?
Yeah, well, end of September. And I just got a relationship like a couple of months ago. It actually got mentioned about 3 or 4 years ago, but I just started seeing someone, and me at the time, I just wasn't ready.
You're like, I'm in love.
I just wasn't ready for it. But then I got a message, and it was just basically saying, "Can we call you about a show coming up?" I had a feeling because it said ITV casting. I was like, "It's got to be Love Island." So they rang me and they was like, "What are your thoughts?" And my first conversation, I was like, "I'm old. I'm 28 now."
Right? How much? Yeah, the people in the villa.
Yeah.
If they're 20. What's the fucking point?
Yeah. So I was like, I'm a bit old now. Like, you know, I don't know if it's for me anymore. And then they were like, look, go through the process. If it's for you, it's for you. If it's not, it's not.
Yeah.
And obviously they've got to pick as well. So it's like maybe towards the end, then you decide. So had a Zoom meeting, went down to London for the interview, and it was a long, long process. And the more time went on, the more in my head I was like, I actually am ready for this. I think I could do it.
Yeah,
so
it's like the army.
Yeah, the longer it got left, I was like, right, I'm actually like, I'm single, like it's now or never. January's a shit month. I want to go away. Like, literally. Like in where I was in my business and everything, it was kind of at the right time to do it. And then, I got a phone call, I think, not till December. So it's like you kind of get led on until then. Oh, God, you didn't
even really have time to pack.
No, literally.
Fine.
Yeah. Well, no, they ring you in December and say, look, you're in it. We just don't know where you're going to be placed yet.
Could you ask and be like, because you were a bombshell, right?
Yeah.
So can you be like, I don't want to be a bombshell, or I want to be a bombshell? Or did you not give a shit?
You couldn't get that option. The one thing I said was, I don't want to do Casa Amor.
Fair play, because that's just, you're not surviving.
No.
Basically.
My point.
Yeah,
I just said, I don't really want to do Casa, but I'm happy to be a bombshell.
Right.
And they said, well, we're going to put you in as one of the early bombshells.
Slay.
So that was like, for me, I think I would rather have been a bombshell.
Yeah.
You kind of put an impact in, don't you? And I was actually like, right, we'll do that. And they said, right, we're going to fly you out on the 13th of Jan. So I've been there for 3 weeks before I actually went on the show.
You got enough tanning time.
3 weeks. And obviously you don't get to know like when you're going in. You kind of get told a couple of days before. So for 3 weeks I was with a chaperone, obviously no phone. And then I went in. So it was a long process,
what on earth do you do for 3 weeks with no phone? You're taking it back to the Victorian times.
Honestly, and not even that. In South Africa, there's a thing called load shedding. So like,
oh my God, yeah.
So unless you've got a generator, you've got no electricity for a few hours a day. And it's always the prime times, like 8 o'clock at night when you want to watch TV, like put a film on, it was off. So drying your hair, just literally sat there like twiddling your thumbs.
Yeah.
It went fast, and it was actually fine. Like we were like across from the beach, so we could go there once a day, and it was actually quite nice to have a bit of downtime.
It's like rehab.
It was like rehab.
In the best way possible.
It was literally like rehab.
I love that.
I now know how to kite surf because I sat there and watched people kite surf in 3 weeks. I was literally
watching their technique. Yeah.
I can do this. But yeah, it was actually quite nice. It was intense, but it was worth the wait, obviously. But 3 weeks was long. Like I think I was the one that was there for the most in holding.
I bet you were so excited to get in though after that.
So excited. I was just like, get me.
I'd have been getting off with everyone. Fuck it. I'd have been like, I've been waiting for this.
Yeah.
So you came in possibly the most dramatic way possible.
Oh God.
And also my worst nightmare.
Same.
Okay, I'm glad we're on the same page.
Same.
The sexy dance challenge for me, I would actually rather get blown up, put back together, and then blown up again than ever do that.
Yeah.
Were you shitting yourself?
Oh my God.
And when did you know that you were coming in for that challenge?
So the one thing I said to my mum and my sister was, I don't want to go in on that challenge.
Yeah.
I'm not a sexy dancer.
Yeah.
That's not me as a girl. Like, I'm the funny one.
Yeah.
So I was like, right, I won't be. And then I hadn't been on, obviously I'd been watching the show and they hadn't done it yet. And I've had this feeling all along I was going on the sexy dance.
You had a gut. Yeah.
Had a gut. That morning, when I knew I was going in, I said, what do I need to wear? Because normally they'll pick your outfit. You'll send them some pictures and they'll choose an outfit for you. don't worry, we'll sort an outfit for you. Then my head was like, right,
here we go.
This is something.
Yeah.
So I turned up and it was about 10 o'clock at night. And they were like, right, you're going to love it. You got the best entrance out of everybody. I was like, I'm ready for it. I know what I'm doing.
No.
Then this little skimpy Ann Summers outfit comes out. And I'm like, oh my God.
And what would you do if you hated it?
They had a couple of options. Luckily, when I put it on, it actually was all right. And then, do you know what? When the wings came out, I was like, I actually am confident.
Yeah, when the wings came out.
I thought, I'm not a Victoria's Secret model, but I'll give it a go. Do you know what? You kind of get that, like, your adrenaline's that high. Yeah. You think, fuck it, I'm going to go for it. Like, just go in there and absolutely go for it. But it was just a disaster for me because the wings, I went through the door the first time, the wings fell off. So I'd walked in and my wings were like hanging off. I was like, right, these boys haven't seen me yet. I look like an idiot.
Yeah.
It was just a whirlwind. But yeah, I didn't want to do it. I really didn't.
No.
But do you know what? You got like the awkwardness out of the way.
But you didn't seem awkward though, from a viewing point of view.
Think?
No, because for me, I'd be like, right, maybe I'll do a little hip thing on one of them. There's 8.
Yeah.
So what am I going to do for it? This is also the time where you got to look at them and be like, are you clapped? Could I couple up with you? Don't know. Like, it's too intense.
No, literally. And like, I had it planned out. So before I went in, I had one of the producers. I was like, right, I know I'm going to do to every single guy. I walked in, it just dropped out the window.
Oh, no.
I licked faces. I was like, what, Claudia, what are you doing?
Yeah.
I
just want to taste.
It was just awful. And I think I rushed through it. I was just like, right, get it over and done with. And then obviously you're scared to go to the guys that you know have got connections with someone, like they're all watching you. So you're like...
That's the thing. Are you thinking about the girl? And can you hear the girls at the top?
You can hear them cheering, not what they're talking about. So I could hear cheering. I was like, oh, good, they're cheering me on. But then when I got to like, say, Ron or someone else, I was like, oh my God, I really don't know what to do because like, obviously they've already gone through...
You can't hump him. Yeah.
No.
Not yet.
I don't know what I did. But it was the scariest thing I've ever done. Like,
but the most iconic.
Well, that's,
Like realistically, that would be on my pinned bit of Instagram for weeks, to be fair. So you're fine.
It was iconic. It was the best entrance, I have to say.
How did you feel when you had to go speak to the girls after? Because I feel like that's more like the boys, fuck them, whatever.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? They're like dogs in heat. But the girls, it's too stressful.
Do you know what? I was a bit nervous. I was like, oh God, they're going to hate me. I'm a bombshell. Like, they're all settled, they're all coupled up. No one's going to like me. But I think because I'm quite a chatty, friendly person anyway, they didn't give them a reason not to like me. So they came over and I was really nice. In fact, Liv was the first person that spoke to me and like was smiling. And I kind of felt like a bit at ease. However, my mind on that first night, it was just gone. I was like, where am I? What am I doing? Who are these people? Like, I've never lived with like anyone else before. Like, it was very stressful. But they were really nice, actually. Like, all the girls were so lovely to me. I was nervous to meet them, but they all like straight away made me feel comfortable. So that was good.
When you woke up the next morning, did you forget you were there, or were you just like, oh?
I didn't wait. I hadn't been asleep. I couldn't sleep, so I basically was like this all night. And I was downstairs the first night because obviously everyone was in couples.
Yeah.
I was in the bed downstairs.
That's so jarring as well.
Yeah.
You just there like...
Literally on my own. I literally was like this all night. So I was like, right, Claudia, get to sleep. And then obviously people are cleaning and stuff like that. So it was
nice.
It was all going like busy. And then I went up in the morning. I was really nervous. I was like, because you got to go up and like go and sit with them.
It's like the walk of shame kind of.
Yeah, literally. Hi, everyone. You just see me in underwear last night, but I'm back again, like in my pajamas. But yeah, that night was just, I was like, what am I doing? Where am I? Like, I kind of felt a bit out of place. It takes a few days to kind of get your head into the routine and get used to everyone. But that first night, it was very intense.
Too stressful.
Very stressful.
So we're going to move on to Casa Amor.
Let's go to Casa Amor.
I love Casa Amor. Today's sponsor of the podcast is BetterHelp. It's always important to talk to someone and not bottle up your feelings, which is why BetterHelp is here to help. Getting to know yourself is a lifelong process as you're always growing and changing. And therapy is all about deepening your self-awareness and understanding. And sometimes we don't know what we want and why we react the way we do, which is why it's good to have someone to talk things out with. BetterHelp connects you to a licensed therapist who can take you on that journey of self-discovery wherever you are. If you're busy, work a job, if you're a parent, if you're a uni student, it's easy and accessible at all times as it's online. It's always good to learn coping skills and setting boundaries. When I was at uni, I was always very overwhelmed, and I always found when I spoke to someone, I'd feel a lot better. Discover your potential with BetterHelp. Visit betterhelp.com/savinggrace to get 10% off of your first month. That's BetterHelp/savinggrace. Thank you, BetterHelp, for sponsoring today's podcast. This is where I love the juice. I love the cheating. I love it all. It's not really cheating, but in my mind it is.
Yeah.
So fuck them. You go, right? Mm-hmm. At this point, are you even worried about, because you're with Casey?
Yeah.
Are you even worried at this point? Because you guys are so new.
Yeah.
So you like, fuck it, it's a girl's holiday type thing.
Do you know what? Like, yeah, I wanted to enjoy the experience, but I knew that I could actually really click with Casey straight away. So I knew I really liked him. And I was like, it's got to take someone really good looking in there to turn my head. It was more him. I was like, he's defo going to like go up to whatever in there. Obviously he did.
Yep.
Yeah, we'll move on to that.
Yep.
But yeah, it was, we were all excited. It was like girls' holiday. It was more like there's going to be 5, 6 with her good looking guys in here.
Yeah.
Like, we're like literally girls on tour. But yeah, and then obviously when they all walked in, it was like, I don't know, no one really knew what to think at first.
Yeah.
It was like your instant attraction, you're looking at them, like, then they start talking.
And then you're like, fuck. All right. Fair.
And then like the first conversation, they were all like chatting and like about who they fancied. Well, no one said my name. So I was like, well, fuck you then. Like, no one's mentioned me. So I was like, well, everyone was like, Olivia, Sammy, like Laura. I'm like, hello. But yeah, I think still when they walked in, my head was still with Casey. And I was like, no one really stood out to me. So yeah, that was kind of like my first initial thought. I was just like, oh, still for me, Casey was the best looking out of them all.
Did you guys, so when you were in there, who did you actually think may have their head turned? Because did any of you think Will?
No.
Not
one of us.
I wish you could have seen the reaction on the outside when that happened.
Really? I've just still don't know.
Were all like, you're joking.
Really?
You are like, I was so angry. I don't even know. And I was like, Jessie deserves that. I'm really angry for her.
Well, he's the one guy that we genuinely thought in there was not going to do anything.
Me and my boyfriend were like, yeah, no, we're not even worried about Jessie and Will, whatever. They're going to be really boring throughout this.
Because did you see Jessie as well? She barely even spoke to a boy.
Or when she did, it was about Will.
Yeah, literally.
So, I mean, poor fucking girl. But I'm trying to think who else. Oh, Tom.
Tom, I didn't think would have. I really didn't. No, I really didn't. Like,
oh, he loves the Terrace.
Yeah, Terrace Tom, that's his nickname. But I genuinely did not think he was going to turn.
Yeah.
I mean, obviously, Shaq we knew, Ron we knew, Casey, I was adamant he was going to bring someone back.
Yeah. Well, nearly, yeah.
Honestly, don't.
Yeah, okay.
Don't.
So you come back, right? This for me is the most, I would hate this because you've got such a, especially in the new villa layout, you have such a long walk back, so you've got to cross over the bridge. Like, why is it so awkward? Like, and when you're walking down, when can you see if they're with someone else?
Well, so I was stood behind that door for at least 20 minutes. And I was like, right, because I was the first one.
Yeah.
I was actually the first one. So I was like, oh my God. So it was like, right, you're going 3, 2, 1. And I was like, I wanted to just melt to the floor. Yeah. But I thought you couldn't, when I did the sexy challenge, I couldn't see them till across the bridge.
Right.
But because they were stood up, I saw, the first person I saw was Tom. And I was like looking for Casey, and Casey was up on his own. But then at that point, I was like, because I forgot, everything goes out the window. I'm like, does that mean that he chooses someone when I walk in? Or should he be stood with someone?
Yeah.
So I still didn't click. And then he was smiling. So I was like,
because the girls were on the side.
And then I saw the girls and I was like, right, so he's on his own. And I genuinely was shell shocked. Like, I could have put £1,000 on it that he was going to have someone back there.
Is that why you didn't really, like, when he was like, when the girls were like, I'm shocked or whatever, you weren't actually...
I didn't think about them.
Yeah.
My head was just that Casey was on his own.
Yeah.
Because I was like, so adamant, like we've been so fresh, like there's 6 girls, one of them is going to turn his head.
Yeah.
Because as well, it's like, do I go for the safe bet? Like if he brought someone back, it doesn't mean it was over with us. It means you can still get to know them, sorry, and then get to know, because that's why I thought, do I bring a guy back? And then we can sort it out when you get back.
Just as a backup, yeah.
But then I thought, no, go with your heart. He also went with his, and it turned out we were both on our own.
What did you think of Olivia's comeback when she... the beef started? Because as a viewer, we were all really confused because we were like, oh, they've done the same thing, it's fine. But then they both started arguing.
Do you know what? It's all a blur to me. I think the thing with Liv was when we were in Casa, was like, Kai's going to bring someone back. So basically, I'm going to do the same thing.
Yeah.
And
as a safety net.
Yeah, but the thing was, he wrote her a message. So it was like, I miss you. Like, can't wait. I trust you. I can't wait to see. It was something like that. So But then there's two sides. Like, it is contradicting because she brought someone back. And I think now she sees that. Like, I think it was a bit intense at the time.
I think it's a bit difficult though when you like someone. I think she liked Kai for quite a long time after as well, because it's when she was like, I want an apology. I don't actually think she wanted an apology. I do think she just maybe thought if we talk, we might be able to.
I think she wanted an explanation, but every time they spoke after that, it was an argument.
Oh, it was so awkward.
So none of them backed down. None of them would really sort it out. So basically, it was like, well, let's just not talk then.
Yeah.
Then they became civil with each other, but I think they were both probably as stubborn as each other, and nobody wanted to have that conversation. And it never really got put to bed, to be honest. I don't think it really got. Yeah, it just got left.
It's so awkward.
And then they both got happy with the other couples, and it was like, well, we can see now you've definitely got better connections elsewhere. So maybe you were never right together. But yeah, I don't think it ever really got fully squashed. It was just kind of more of an avoiding thing from then on.
That's so awkward because the villa's tiny. Do you know what I mean? So
and I don't think Kai wanted any more drama. I think like if it got brought up, he would just not talk about it anymore.
He hates drama.
Yeah, he really doesn't like drama.
He's a peaceful bloke. Fair play to him. Yeah. That wouldn't be me if I was in that villa. So the girls, then you all have you'll have a lunch.
Yeah.
Everyone has a lunch, blah, blah. So it's Sammy, Jessie, you, and is that it? You, Sammy, Jessie?
Three, yeah.
Okay.
We got that text too, and it was like, oh my God.
That's
here we go.
The most awkward thing ever, because I feel like you gave a shit, but you didn't give a shit.
Yeah.
How did you feel when all of that was going on?
For me, it was really different because me and Casey were very fresh. So like, I felt like I didn't really have much. I kind of didn't. I didn't like. I felt like I didn't have much to say. But then when you actually hear the girl's side, like she genuinely thought Casey was going to pick her.
Yeah.
And I mean, like to cry over someone.
I was shocked that he didn't pick her as well.
Everyone said, my mum was like, everyone was saying it. We were so shocked that he didn't pick her. So obviously there was something there. And then I felt a bit shit then because I was like, well, have I just literally been like your second option again? Yeah. Again. So it was weird. I mean, hearing it from them, like, what annoyed me the most was when she said, I was laughing at her, if you go back to the clip and you watch it, I wasn't.
No, I think in that moment, she definitely was just like,
yeah.
So, because also it's fucking awkward. I'm sorry. I'm someone as well that in a really awkward situation, I'm bursting out laughing. Someone could be like, your nan's dead. And I'll be like,
I'm the same.
I'm sorry, but I hate when people are like, why are you laughing? Because it's like, fuck off, because I laugh at everything.
I do the same.
Leave me alone. But anyway, that's awkward. Then that whole Jessie so people said on the outside, there's no tears from Jessie. Can you please back up, confirm or deny if there were tears from Jessie?
Jessie was upset, like 100%. I mean, I didn't see her face. I don't know what the whole tears thing or not, but like sometimes you do cry and you're not completely in flood of tears.
Yeah.
But she was so upset over it. And I mean, even when we weren't filming, you could just tell she was devastated. So I'll back Jessie.
Do you know
on
what?
That. She was really upset.
Weirdly enough, when Jessie first came in, I was like, I feel like she's picked Will because he's an easy option and she knows everyone likes him, right? So I was set from that. Then after Casa Amor, I was like, no, yeah, she fucking likes him. For her to be crying all the time, literally all the time, you've got to like him.
What he did to her really got to her because in the past she had like trust issues, like people have broke it. And
the same thing happened to her on the last season of Love Island as well.
This is what I mean. And she just, I at one point I thought Jessie's not going to take him back. She was that devastated.
Too much,
Like, and then movie night happened and it was like there was more coming out. And she was like, she didn't know what to do. And I said, look, she kind of was getting sick of everyone's opinions. I said, you know what you want to do in here and you know, you follow your heart. And if that's Will, then stick to Will.
Yeah.
But you've got to forgive and forget. This can't keep blowing up.
Yeah.
Which it was getting brought up so much. It was like, and it was draining Will, it was draining her. It was like, you either forgive and forget it or you don't.
Well, everyone forgave and forget,
basically.
They did. Then movie night happens.
Yeah. And then it all came around again.
They like to wait until you're all like, love you so settled. Much, babe. And then they're like, here you are.
I know.
How was movie night?
I know. Movie night, it was fun. I just couldn't stop staring at Martin in the movie night.
He was loving it. He was like,
Martin was literally like a meme. He was just sat there with popcorn. It was just hilarious.
It was incredible.
Movie night wasn't. I was just dreading watching mine. I was like, what have I done? I said, Lord of the Rings. I was what have I done with two with rings? I was panicking. But we just couldn't wait to watch each one. I mean, I watched Casey's and I was like, it was everything he'd said. There was nothing in there he'd lied about. He got straddled. He got 2 kisses. I mean, he went to the extreme.
Not nice to see.
No, it's not nice to see. So that was my problem with me. But there was one thing I think where he said, he asked her to get in the bed, but he said before that she'd asked him, and that's why he said, I guess that means you're in my bed tonight. So there was a bit more to it. We spoke about it and it kind of got squished. But yeah, like the Will one, that was
the most uncomfortable thing I have.
Oh, it was awful.
And the fact that we'd watched it before anyway,
yeah.
when he was like a little bit naughty, you're being naughty. I was like, turn it off.
It was literally like, the girls were just going at the boys and they were getting so defensive, but I think everyone was just really like stressed out about it. And then someone mentioned a hand job and they were like, she gave you a hand job, and they were like, no, she fucking didn't. I was like, oh my God, this is too much.
Never do that. I love it.
It was just hilarious, but the girls were just so together on that night. We were just attacking them like, it was mad.
So Liv, in that, we were all like, she slagged you all off. Not really. Actually, no, she slagged you all off, kind of. She'd been talking about you to other people, like everyone in the villa, and everyone was so confused at why
we reacted the way we did.
Because when the whole Jessie argument happened, which we'll get onto, we were like, but why is everyone angry? Please elaborate.
Because she'd already told us. So she already said to me about Casey, and, like...
Is this when she knew movie night was happening?
No, this was actually...
before.
She said to me that she thought Casey was going to turn.
Right.
She thought I was 50-50. So what I watched, I knew.
Yeah.
I knew everything. She told me already.
Right.
Sammy's, I can't even remember now. Remind me of what happened with Sammy.
She said something about...
She said something about Tom will turn his head, maybe, something like that. I don't know about that one.
Yeah.
I don't know whether Sammy knew or not, but I just know with mine, I definitely knew what she'd already said.
Yeah.
I think it was a little bit edited, maybe a bit changed, but it all got said to me, so I knew it. So I can't really fault her for that because she did tell me everything before that. Like whatever she said was exactly what was said on the movie night. Right. So
thank you for clearing the air because Twitter's been an uproar.
No, I can assure you, I already knew about that.
Now we're going to get on to the worst thing that has ever happened, in my opinion.
Oh,
Rosie walks in the villa, right? Rosie and Keanan.
God, here we go. Yeah. Get myself prepared for this.
And actually, from the start, when Rosie and Keanan came in, I was like, I swear they should just get together because I feel like they had a really good connection.
Keanan really liked her.
Yeah, and she laughed. And you know what? It happens, and that's why you don't tell anyone your feelings.
I know,
do you know what I mean? Bless him.
And do you know what? Like, he really did actually quite like her towards the end because obviously they come in together.
They were popping each other's
bombshells
spots.
don't go to bombshells. It's like a bit of a.
I feel like it's an unspoken rule.
Yes, that's the word. Yeah, it basically is. So they couldn't really get together.
Right.
I don't think they got told. It was just like you got to get to know everyone else first. Then a few days went by and it was like, no, I actually am connecting with Rosie.
Yeah.
And he opened up to her. And
He
then
didn't even have time.
10 minutes later, she went and kissed Casey. So, you know.
So I want to say, Casey, Rosie, right? You knew, every girl has a gut feeling, right? Straight after that first that you went.
The text.
You straight away, I think it was Tanya or someone you said it to, and you went, I just know.
I knew.
I knew straight away he's going to go to her. And they were all like, believe in yourself. And I was shouting at my screen. I was like, no, this boy... I know it straight away.
Really?
From Casa Amor, that boy just loves it. And I think if someone else came in after that, he'd have gone to someone else as well. I do just think he just loves women. Fair play to him.
Well,
they're great.
I mean, that's what you're there for. You're there to pick and choose girls. But I'm not the kind of girl that wants to pick and choose.
I cannot imagine how difficult it is seeing someone you like in that villa, getting to know someone else.
It's the worst feeling.
I'd have don't know what I'd done.
No, I nearly walked.
Yeah, I don't blame you.
I think that was the thing was I was the first girl for that to happen to.
Yeah.
Anyone else, like the Lana thing, Ron went back.
Hell, yeah, it's true.
So everyone went back to their original partner. Whereas with me, I had to sit and watch it, and no one had been through that. So I was like, no one knows exactly how this feels because it is shit. It's like, and I just knew. So the text message came through. Then that night in bed, it was a little bit different.
Oh my God. And it broke my heart. Oh my God. When you had to walk out the bedroom and sleep somewhere else.
I just couldn't stand it.
That was so horrible to watch.
I know. And do you know what? In my head, all I was thinking about was my mum and everyone's going to see this and they're going to. I'm like, but I did it for me. I was like, I couldn't stand the chatting. I couldn't stand hearing everyone kissing.
I'd have kicked
like,
their bed on the way out. I'd be like, fuck you. You have a shit night's sleep and the aircon breaks.
That's how I felt. I thought, you know what? I'd rather hear the crickets and the bugs jumping on my face than listen to what's going on in this room because I couldn't stand it.
While this was happening, your was it your mum and sister were on
They went on after Sun. Yeah.
And it was so sad because they were like, she's so sad. And we're just having to sit here and watch her be sad.
And that was always in the back of my mind.
Yeah.
Was that my mum's going to watch this. Like, I wanted to know I'm all right. Like, it was hard in there because your emotions are real. None of that was fake. Like, I genuinely felt every tear that came through. But then, like, I knew that when they were watching it, I was fine that day. So I knew in my head, I was like, they've watched all this now and I'm happy now. So I want them to see the happy side now. But knowing that my family are going through that was a lot. Like, my dad struggled watching it. My mum was really struggling. And I was like, I was sorry for that. But you can't control your emotions in there. It's so hard.
I agree. I feel like everything's heightened as well in there.
It's so heightened.
Because you can't just go and speak to your actual mates on the outside and they can reason it with you.
I mean, I was looking at Sammy. If I didn't have Sammy and Jessie, probably I would have really struggled. She was like, Claudia, like, basically, like, get out this horrible emotional state you're in. Back yourself. You're fucking beautiful. Even Tom was saying the same, and I was like,
that's so cute from Tom, by the way.
Oh, like the snog married pie.
Bloke.
Like, if that hadn't have happened, I probably would have, like, I was about to walk one night, and I was like, I can't do this anymore. I can't watch a guy I like ignore me, completely go for this other girl, like. You just don't feel like you're enough. Like, you kind of, I felt like I wasn't wanted. Like, I felt like I didn't deserve to be there anymore because everyone's in couples. I was like third wheeling everyone. Like, where do I go? And it was so hard to watch. I was like, you just start doubting yourself and like not backing yourself anymore.
And it's not like, you know, on the outside, if you have a shit time with a guy, you could be like, do you know what, I'm going out. I'm going to forget about you.
Block, delete,
no,
gone.
You're in literally a room full of people in couples that love each other.
Yeah.
And him, which is great.
Literally. Like, and I was third wheeling constantly, and I was like, I feel bad that I'm like sat with Sammy and Tom, but they didn't mind. They were like, oh my God, stay with us all day. We don't care. But yeah, and then Snog Marry Pie happened, and then I just boosted. I was just a different person. Like, them boys fully made me feel so special that day. Like,
and he was fuming about that.
I know. I think he was annoyed. He wasn't annoyed at the girls because he knew it was coming.
Will and
it was the boys, I think, that didn't have his back. But it wasn't about having his back. It was about making someone that's been so upset for 3 days just feel better about themselves.
I back it.
I do. I think he eventually did actually. Like,
he's got to understand. Let's be real.
He did.
So then all of this happens, and then what it looks like is there's a big divide in the villa. So you've got you, Jessie, and Sammy. Then you've got Olivia. Fuck me, I don't remember who else is in there. Tanya,
Lana.
And Lana.
Yeah.
That's it, right? Even with the guys, I feel like there was a whole thing where everyone hated Ron for a bit. Was it as divided in there as it looked?
Do you know what? It was really weird because we all got on so well. The girls in the dressing room, at lunchtimes, dinner times, we were a really strong girl group. But then when it came to like just being out and about in the villa, you do go to your groups.
Yeah.
It's weird. Like, you'd be happy sat with anybody, but you automatically go towards people you're comfortable with. Like, I would always be with Sammy, Tom, Will, and Jessie, and then the other guys would be grouped together. But it wasn't intentional.
Yeah,
it was just that you're more in common, or you've got like a similar. Like, it was just weird.
Like life, isn't it? You get on with other people more than you do.
But then if it was Tanya was like one of my closest in there. I really got on with her so well. But then we weren't really that much together in the day.
No, you didn't really see you two together.
Yeah, or Lana. But then I got on with them like a house on fire. So it just genuinely was that you kind of go off into your separate things. And the boys maybe caused that divide more than the girls. I think the girls were a lot stronger this year than the boys were.
Yeah, I agree.
The girls really gelled.
The only time you guys had an argument really was at the end. Where, and I feel like do you think if you didn't have that argument with Olivia that you'd still be in there? Or do you think they would have always voted you out?
I think we would have been voted out. It would have been interesting to see who the public would have voted out.
I don't think it would have been you guys.
I know, that's what me and Keanan thought. But, you know, we were the ones that weren't a couple in there. I think anyone in her position would have picked me.
Yeah.
So I don't blame her for that. And I think that argument happening the night before, I don't think it affected her at all. I think it was just who in here's not got a connection, Claudia and Keanan.
Yeah.
I mean, I think it was a hard decision to make. But I knew in my head, I was like, that's definitely me.
You'd had a rough day anyway that day.
I was like, thank
beach
you.
Club.
Oh, God, don't.
Arguing.
Yeah.
Did it just come up in you where you were just like, no, fuck him, that's because what I was thinking was, when earlier in the day, Casey was like, should I tell her? And I was thinking, why would he tell her? Like, why would he do that, because it's kind of like, oh, by the way, I kissed her last night, just to let you know. Like, but then when the argument happened, I got it. Like, I was a bit like, oh, you're hearing from everyone else.
Do you know what it was for me? I think I am the nice girl. I'm too nice to people. I don't really like confrontation. Yeah. And I think I just got to the point where I was like, I'm sick. I've been nice to him the whole time. I barely shouted at him. I cried. I let him get away with stuff. And I just think, you know what?
You even became friends with him after.
This is what I mean.
I'd have gone to jail. So respect to you.
I think it made me realise, like, you know what, Claudia, you've got a backbone. You've got to just sometimes let it rip. Like, and if you feel how you feel, let it out. Looking back now, I think I went a little bit too crazy, and I read the comments, and I think I was a bit intense.
Don't let them get to your head.
I know.
We'd be worse.
I think I did leave on a bit of a bad note, but I left telling him exactly how I felt, exactly how he made me feel. I don't think he actually realised how much I liked him. Yeah. And I think that was hard. Like, he didn't understand at all. Like, he was quite the jokey character in there, and he wanted everyone to like him and be happy. And he was, and I adored the boy, and I still think he's a really great guy, and I'm sure we'll be friends after this. But he just didn't put my feelings first, and that was what was hard. And I just thought, you know what, let her rip. Like, and
let it go.
It came out.
Has he contacted you since leaving the villa?
No.
Because I saw a thing today that he'd said that he wants to actually apologise to you.
Oh, really?
Oh, what did the article say?
He followed me on Instagram actually yesterday.
This is what it was. Something like, he was like, I didn't get a chance to say sorry, and I don't want to have bad blood. Oh. So I think that message is coming.
Oh, yeah. Maybe it's there now.
Yeah, I'll let you check.
I'm waiting.
Because you've got the reunion to come.
I'm going to be seeing him at the reunion,
and that's so fucking awkward.
Do you know what I think from them? In my head now, though, to be honest, since coming out, I've barely thought about him.
Yeah.
I think I've enjoyed myself coming out. You know, I see he's happy with Rosie. Yeah. Let's see what happens now with them two. But, you know, there's no bad blood now. I'm over it.
It's done now. You're out the villa. You got different distractions now.
Exactly.
And you got many a man in your DMs probably.
I mean, there's been a lot of girls. I'm waiting for the men to pop up too.
Yeah, come on. So have you watched any of it since coming out?
Yes.
You have?
I have.
What bits have you watched? Oh no, have you?
I watch myself. Like I was saying before, like, people keep saying to me, you look a lot better in person. And I'm watching, like, I keep saying, when it was movie night, I was like, it's called Lord of the Rings, called like Gollum. I was like, I literally was like, is that why they said it? Because I feel like Gollum.
So horrible.
Honestly.
Yeah.
I was like, oh my God. But some clips I've really enjoyed watching. I've not watched the bombshell moment. I see it on TikTok and I swipe past.
You need to do it. It's so good.
I can't watch it.
No, fair play. I get you. Yeah, I couldn't watch it either.
All I can like think of my head is me pulling the wedgie out all the time, and like that underwear. I had everything out. Like my area was hanging out.
And all.
Awful.
Oh yeah.
So I watched the second episode, and that was the dates, and I enjoyed it, but I had to turn it off. I was like, oh my God, my voice. And then I've started seeing on TikTok people doing impressions of everyone in the villa. I have to say mine, whoever's done it is 10 out of 10.
Yeah.
I was howling.
Yeah.
But yeah, I was like, oh my God, I sound so northern. I hate my voice. Like,
you
pick
love
it yourself,
voice.
don't you?
Honestly, don't stress. I think anyone that watches themselves, I mean, when I watch my podcast back, I think, fucking hell, is that what I've turned up like? Is that what I sound like?
No, you look
stunning. This is what I mean. It's just your own mind. But what's the reception been when you came out?
Do you know what? It's been amazing.
Yeah.
I've been so overwhelmed. Like, I was a bit nervous that I'm going to have had hate, but I think I've not done anything for anyone to hate me, really.
Yeah.
I have not had as much love like this in my life. Like, my family's proud of me, my friends are proud of me. Like, people in the street, like, I was in London the other day and people were hugging me, like, asking for pictures and just saying, like, I've been an inspiration. You know, it's nice to see, like, a normal girl in there. It's just kind
Everyone's had your back. Yeah.
I feel it, and I really do. And I feel very overwhelmed with love, and I think, like, I'm glad I was myself in there all the time. Like, I didn't try to be anybody I wasn't.
Yeah.
And I've been so happy with the response. Like, there's been any negativity I see, I just block them. I'm like, get out of my life.
They're probably ugly anyway.
Yeah.
So did you, because obviously people knew your dad.
Yeah.
When that's how you were kind of, when you were introduced into the villa, they were like, his daughter.
Yeah.
Have you seen any of the clips of when people like Casey clocked that your dad? Because that to me was an ick.
Yeah. Do you know what? I watched that for the first time last night, the night before.
Yeah.
And I never knew that happened.
Yeah.
It's like, did he get told to do that? Like,
I think he clocked straight away.
That's Claudia Fogarty's daughter. I was like, but how would he know? I don't know.
Thing is, when you look like your dad in a nice way. You look like, if you put your dad next to you, I can tell that's your dad.
Really?
So I have a feeling for a guy, I feel like he'd know that.
Maybe.
But then he maybe would just Well, actually, no, unless you know.
But I didn't see that until the other night. So no one, maybe I was a bit like, oh, is that why he's gone for it? Obviously, I don't think it was. But
it made me die watching that because I was like, if she knew.
But then another thing, when I've come out, everyone's been saying how much Casey looks like my dad. So now I'm like even more freaked out.
No,
I've seen it everywhere.
I swear to God, he doesn't.
I've seen it everywhere. A lot of people are like, oh my God, Casey's your dad. I'm like, I told my dad, he was like, you're joking. That's creeped me out a little bit. But yeah, no, the dad thing, I didn't know until the other night when I watched it. No one, it never got. He never really said it to me.
Yeah,
it kind of was just like,
he didn't.
No, he didn't really. It was like, what do your family do? And then
you might as well just be straight onto it. Like, I know who your dad is. That hasn't swayed me, but I know who your dad is.
Yeah,
I'd rather just
let
be
it out there.
just have it out in the open.
Yeah, I think at the date it was spoke about, but more just like what your family do really, and then it kind of came out then. But I didn't speak about it much, to be honest.
No, compared to other seasons, they make you milk it. This one was fine.
I was adamant.
You
I was
were
like,
literally
I am not
saying a thing.
I'm not milking this one, not at all. Because some people, like, because of the younger age, they probably won't even know who he is because it was a long time ago when he rode motorbikes.
It's just men, I think.
Yeah, exactly. Know. So I'm glad it didn't really get brought up much. But I mean, I talk about my family anyway, whether he's famous or not. Like, my mum and dad are like my best friends, so I always talk about them.
Yeah.
But yeah.
We've got the teapot to do, lads. So all past guests have left me a little bit of anonymous tea. You're going to leave one as well.
Oh, okay.
And sorry. Right. This is what's come out of the pot.
Right.
I don't know if it's from this season, but I'm going to assume so. A Love Islander gave another one gonorrhea. Gonorrhea's a bit crazy. I'd expect chlamydia, but gonorrhea's a bit...
Wow. Is this true?
Yeah, well, yeah. Because it's anonymous, people love to go to town.
Oh my...
Was
this season?
Have you been walking around with the old gone-gons?
So I ain't giving no one gonorrhea. Yeah. I didn't make it to the hideaway. God, I barely even touched Casey, so you know.
I would just think, if I was high up, right, and people knew properly who I was, I'd be getting tested every week.
But you do get tested before you go in there. So I
think it would have been after, maybe.
Maybe.
You know, when everyone's... Because people from other seasons love to sleep with each other or date each other.
This.
I bet you did.
I've heard this.
Has anyone from past seasons reached out to you yet?
No.
Fuck's sake, Claudia.
No. Do you know what? No. There's no one that I don't think I would reach out to anyway.
No, no, good point.
But yeah, not that I'm slagging any of them off.
Yeah, they're all beautiful.
No, do you know what? No. There's no one that's reached out, to be honest.
That's jarring.
And now you've told me that, I'm not getting gonorrhea, so I'm going to get if I do find
You're going to give an old scratch and sniff before you do.
They need to get tested anyway, at least.
Show me the text. Well, that was a nice bit. Then we end with a bit of life advice to save grace.
Okay.
It can be about anything. Could be about gonorrhea, whatever you want. What advice would you give me?
You really put me on the spot now.
I know.
I don't know.
Can be from what you've learnt in the villa.
Back yourself.
Yeah. Believe in your source.
Believe in yourself.
Yeah.
If that's one lesson I've learnt from being in Love Island,
yeah,
it honestly is. And I didn't see it when I was in there, but I've come out and Love Island has made me realise now that you've got to fully back yourself.
Agreed.
Because I'm better than
You're better than men is what I have also learned from that season.
Do you know what? It really is. And if you think that your all, be all and end all is in there and that you give your all, but then there's going to be someone better around the corner for me and I'll think, Casey, who?
Yeah, you'll laugh.
I will.
You'll laugh in about a month's time. So you're fine.
So yeah, back yourself.
Yeah. And that's for all the viewers out there too.
Everybody out there.
Thank you so much for coming on. You've been amazing.
Thank you for having me. I've loved it.
I fucking loved it as well. If you've been watching, give it a like and subscribe. And if you've been listening, give it a 5-star review and a follow. See ya.
Bye.
Bye.